Peace and mercy of Allah be upon you. With you Hani Majub greets you from the Pendulum channel to treat magic and touch. Welcome. The theme of our episode today is to bring magic into an egg. This method is that we prepare such a fresh egg and read on it a certain determination with verses from the Book of Allah the Almighty. We keep reading in this determination and these verses until the egg weighs up. And I did this method or this experiment with someone, so what happened in it? Let me tell you what happened in detail. Someone came to me more than 25 years ago. This ordinary pendulum was used to detect this person. So he has magic. When I checked him again, I found him with a land attack. And so I was confused. I had a friend who also used the pendulum. And we were cooperating together in such cases, especially since I was at the beginning of this path. So I'm sure what results I'm getting. I asked him to reveal this person, and if he also reveals once, he says he has a land injury, and he reveals again, and he says he has magic. We stood in a position of confusion. He told me why not try the direct method with him. We read to him the verses of Ruqayya directly. So the jinn brings diamonds on it if he has a touch or one of the servants of magic attends, and therefore we can talk to him and stand on the exact situation. We read to him the verses of Ruqayya directly. So the jinn brings diamonds on it if he has a touch or one of the servants of magic attends, and therefore we can talk to him and stand on the exact situation. We determine precisely if he has a touch or if he has magic so that we can provide him with the appropriate treatment. And when I read it directly if it epilepsy and cramp, but I failed to question it the diamond genie or the magic server. This meeting ended. At the time, my friend and I cared about it. We read in books that deal with such topics. And we stood on the way to bring magic into an egg. And when I found that this method has no legitimate violation, because the determination we read is written in clear Arabic words. There is no polytheism in it and there is no disobedience in it. Together, we decided to conduct this experiment. This injured person came with a group of his friends and relatives. Their number was many. They came to see how we bring this person's magic into this egg, because we were more likely to have magic. And already we brought the egg and started reading on it. The reading continued time and time again. Every once in a while, I show the eggs to someone present to ask him about their weight. He says her weight has increased. Because I'm supposed to keep reading until the egg weighs up. And when she weighs up here, we'll be sure that magic has been present in her. And then we break it and find magic inside it. Whenever I showed the egg to an attendee, he would say that the egg had increased significantly. So it's inevitable that we break the egg and take out the magic inside it. My friend came out of the room we were in and brought a vase for us to break the egg. And when we broke it, it shook the pot violently. And when he stopped shaking, then a veil appeared inside the pot. When all those present saw this veil, they all grew up and said Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. He attended magic. And if that infected person stands upright and says you're completely cured. I am healthy. I don't have a disease. I was sick. I've been feeling so much pain. But now I am healthy and healthy. I don't feel tired and I don't feel sick. And then, especially after my friend broke the egg and shook the pot, I came out of the room bursting into laughter. Why? Because I was sure as well as my friend that the egg did not gain weight. Thus there will be no magic in them. Neither hijab nor otherwise. And when my friend realized this, he went to bring the pot, brought a veil, threw it in the pot, and shook it so that the eggs could mix with the veil. And the attendees fled that the veil was like it was out of the egg, so they would be sure of the results of the experiment. What is the explanation for what happened? I didn't tell you this story to tell you that we should to charlatan people, to deceive them, to treat them incorrectly. But what I wanted to make clear was that this person was actually a healthy person who had no touch and no magic but had a psychological problem or was under pressure from his family or from his father or non-slippery. His personality was impersonated by the person with touch or the personality of the person with magic, and he showed these symptoms. And when we tried the egg, we broke it and found a veil in it. He no longer has to admit that he has been healed and has become healthy. because he was claiming it. There is no escape for him except to admit that he has become healthy, without earthly touch and without magic. And that's what charlatans do. They trick the people they deal with into falling under their control. What I want to make clear is that the therapist should not treat people in a way that is quackery and not deal with them in false or deceptive ways. But he must take into account their psychological state so that they can overcome the obstacles that confront them. But what did you offer to you have to do with our use of the pendulum? When I checked on this person, I revealed him with a single pendulum. A single pendulum can be affected as a result of its detection by the subconscious mind of the therapist. So I've mentioned in previous episodes that a multiple pendulum is more credible than a regular pendulum. Why? Because dealing with it will be in one direction. Because when I hold it, I put in my mind that the reading that I am going to read and that the verses of the parchment that I will recite go directly to the genie of the people or the servant of the craft and make him unable to survive in the flesh and therefore cannot continue to harm this enchanted or possessed person. This is what I wanted to explain to you. When there are intractable cases, we should be sure to diagnose the condition, and the multiple pendulum helps us with this. Why? Because as I told you, I will direct the reading to the oldest diamond genie or magic servant. If this person is not touched or charmed by magic, the pendulum will never move. But in the case of a normal pendulum, I keep in mind that I want to reveal if he has a touch or not. If he has a touch or magic, the pendulum moves. If he doesn't have it, the pendulum remains motionless. But as I mentioned to you in the multifaceted pendulum, I read in one direction and in one direction so that it is cut off. On the other hand, the person being treated must have a strong personality connected to Allah the Almighty in order for his results to be accurate results that do not deviate right or left. On the other hand, the person being treated should be aware of the person who is treating him with a problem, or if he has a psychological command that makes him show symptoms of magic or show symptoms of touching the earth, so that his treatment is accurate. I hope that you liked this video and our channel got your satisfaction.